The budget laptop I'm testing is the Lenovo IdeaPad S130. This has an 11.6-inch HD display, 4 gigs of RAM and weighs just 1.1 kilograms. And representing cheap tablets is the Samsung Galaxy Tab A with a 10.1-inch Full HD screen, Dolby Atmos and 2 gigs of RAM. I'll be testing these affordable portable devices in 3 different scenarios. I'll be looking at screen quality, ease of use and processing power, and I'm starting on the train. Commuters are some of the most avid screen watchers around, so this journey will be a good test to find out how my budget devices cope with movement and changes in light. Alicia and Craig have agreed to help. What do you normally use to entertain yourself on your commute?
Usually it'll either be on my phone or my iPad.
Well, I've got a couple of devices for you to try out. I'd like to start with this, which is a Lenovo Cloudbook. It's quite economically priced. I'm interested to see how it compares with what you normally use.
OK, fabulous.
Sir, how do you normally entertain yourself on a commute?
Mobile phones, always.
I'd like to try this Samsung Galaxy Tab A.
Right.
Let me know what you think of it.
I shall.
Alicia's Lenovo screen is 1366 by 768 pixels, and it has a battery life of up to 8 hours. I mean, the battery life is way ahead of budget laptops of old.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's got an 11.6-inch screen. Is it bright enough?
Yes, definitely. Easy to watch and there's no, glare.
The Samsung tablet has a screen resolution of 1920 by 1200 pixels and a claimed battery life of up to 11 hours. Craig, how are you getting on?
I'd be more inclined to take a laptop than I would a tablet.
Do you find as though you want to stand for it when you're watching? Or...
Yeah, that's exactly what it needs.
Let's see how our commuters feel when they swap devices.
It feels more comfortable because it's what I'm used to.
What about the quality of the screen?
Yeah, no, it's really good. It comes across clearer.
So how does the laptop compare?
But even though it's slower than a tablet, I'm more likely to use the laptop purely because I'm used to it.
Which would you take on a long journey, if any?
But overall, the laptop.
I think I'd probably take the tablet if I was commuting because I think the tablet's more portable.
Good as my 2 budget devices are, neither have enough outstanding qualities to win. So the screen test is a draw. Cheerio! Next, I'm on my way to meet a terribly fast typist to talk keyboards and ergonomics. Heidi is one of the top transcribers at a company that specialises in transcripts of the TV industry. She's going to use her expertise to test ease of use and responsiveness. What's your normal setup?
I've got a desktop computer. I have to have quite a large monitor, which I split in half. And on one side, I have a software which I drag and drop my audio or video files into. And on the other side, I'll have a Word.
Brilliant. And how fast do you manage to type?
About 120 words a minute.
Wow, great. First up for Heidi's fast fingers is the Lenovo. This has 3 USB ports, so she can plug in her foot pedal too. She uses this for pausing and rewinding the video. The keyboard travel is 1.7 millimeters. Sounds reasonably healthy. Keyboard travel is the distance the keys of a keyboard have to be pushed down before the keystroke is recognised. How much you like is a matter of taste. Keyboard's also backlit. What do you think of the laptop?
I like it. I'm finding the mouse a little hard to get used to because it hasn't got the separate buttons at the bottom. But again, it'll just be something that I'd get used to. But I could definitely work on this. To be able to use it on the go for £200, I think that's amazing value.
Right, let's move on from the laptop to the tablet. This has Word already installed and allows you to open 2 windows at once, so Heidi can watch and type at the same time. But Heidi isn't keen on the lack of feedback from the touchscreen compared to a normal keyboard.
When you use a keyboard, you place your fingers above the F and the J, which have the 2 bubbles on, so you always know that your fingers are in the right place, and that's impossible to do with a touchscreen.
So far we've only got about 4 words in.
Yeah, yes. I get paid per word I type, so the slower I go, the less I earn per hour, so I would not be able to work on this.
So, when it comes to using the all-important keyboard, the expert's choice is the Lenovo, which makes it 1-0. On to my last test, which involves pushing the creativity and processors of both these devices to their limits. This is Anna Parker, an award-winning architect who uses professional high-end software for her designs, which incidentally include this whiskey club we're meeting at. Very swanky. Now, what sort of computer hardware and software do you use as an architect?
We start off with hand drawing and then we move through Photoshop, Illustrator and SketchUp as a way of testing those ideas.
Presumably it's quite demanding on the computer hardware.
Yeah, so I mean, I've always used Apple Macs. They've always responded to our needs as designers.
We're going to push these two budget devices to the extreme to see if they can handle an architect's heavy workload. If they can process Anna's complicated CAD files, they'll be just fine for an average Joe's day-to-day use. First, the Lenovo.
You can see that the line work is really compromised and it actually is starting to struggle with moving through as a model. But I think actually this is one of the sort of smaller files that we would tend to use as well, so it's not as if it's got a lot to process.
Yes. Even though the file's only the size of a couple of high-res photos, the Lenovo's processor isn't coping well.
And then I noticed as you try and kind of pan out and zoom, the whole program starts to glitch.
Yes, you're having Inception type effects.
And visually it's just not as clear and kind of impressive as a tool. So I think for the price point it would be affordable, but actually as a kind of professional tool day to day, it's not as successful.
Next, the Samsung.
So already you can see the resolution of the line work is much crisper.
It's much better, and the tones as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's actually picking up shadows and kind of panning through the scenes, and the animation works much more effectively.
So the processing power of the Samsung is giving a lot more graphic detail and a much smoother animation. Anna's impressed. I mean, the fact that we're here in situ and this relates to what I can actually see for real, I mean, shows that it obviously does work as a way of showing the client what a space is going to be like. So which is the favourite for you out of the laptop and the tablet?
I think the tablet is more instinctive as a design tool, whereas the laptop, just visually, the quality wasn't there for me.
Yeah. Even though these labour-intensive tasks aren't the norm for these two devices, the Samsung wins this round with its top-notch processing power. So, overall, it's a draw.
Well, interesting stuff. So, what's the verdict, John?
Well, I think what impressed me about both of these things was simply how good they are. Obviously, which one you'd choose would depend on what you're going to use it for. If you're a student, if you're doing office work, clearly the laptop would be the one to go for. If you're taking a more laid-back approach, reading magazines, watching videos, go for the tablet. But they're both very good value for money.
OK, well, thank you for that.